session here with you guys live on a Sunday night. Browns fall to the Ravens 23-16. If anybody's seen Justin Charles, tell him to let us know he's alive. I haven't heard from him at all today. I don't know if he was at the game or if he wasn't at the game. What's going on?
I did hear from Justin. I did actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
he said his wife, she broke her ankle, right, or something last week. So he's got kind of full-time duty with the kids. And nighttime is especially difficult, as we both know.
So we're going to get into everything in this game. Forewarning for this episode, obviously with a 4:30 start time, game just finished up. Not a lot of time to prep for an episode. We normally have notes together, things we want to talk about. Normally Josh has screened voicemails, has them preloaded. We kind of have an idea of an order we want to play them, what each one is about. We don't have any of that tonight. We're flying off the cuff. We're coming to this is about as live as you can be. We weren't even going to do the voicemails, but we have 10. And obviously this was a game. Shedeur got to come in. A lot of people are going to get their thoughts on the show. So we have 10 voicemails to get to. We have no idea what they say. We don't even know how well we're going to be able to load them up on the fly. So bear with us. We're going to try to get through all 10 of these voicemails while giving you our thoughts. If we start your voicemail and it's just it's something we've already covered, we'll obviously play it. Might not spend a ton of time on it. But you guys took the time to send the voicemails in, so I don't want to just snub you this week just because the league had us play at 4:30. So we're going to try to get to everything. Obviously, we're going to try to get to your guys' comments in the chat, but just bear with us. Again, just a two-man show tonight. Josh is wearing host, producer, notes taker, voicemail player. He's got 16 different hats on tonight. So bear with us. Before we dive into the episode, though, if you want to get thoughts and intros on the show, head to thedogspodcast.com, tap leave voicemail in the drop-down menu. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Make sure you tap the notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we're putting out. You can follow us on any of the social media platforms. Just search at The Dogs Podcast, and you can also just listen to the show on Apple and Spotify. Lastly, if you want more Dogs content, head to jointhedogs.com, become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon page, get access to the private Discord, play fantasy football with us, and just hang out and meet and talk Browns football and pretty much anything else under the sun with like-minded individuals from all across the globe. So that's jointhedogs.com. Before we dive into the episode, one thing I do want to mention now, and I should have prepped more for this, but I'm a couple weeks too late. It is Movember. Our good friend of the program, Kenny Mack, basically the fourth host of this show from the Great White North. Every November, Kenny does a Movember campaign for men's mental health and cancer research. Kenny himself is a cancer survivor. I believe we have the link somewhere on our socials and in the descriptions of videos and all that good stuff. Please donate to Kenny Mack's Movember campaign. He always has a yearly goal he's trying to get to, raises money. We've been pumping this out, promoting this for him for the last few years. So be on the lookout for that link to donate to Kenny Mack's Movember campaign. It goes to a great cause, and Kenny's a great guy. You guys all know him and love him, so let's help him out. Let's help him get to his goal. All right, so let's dive into this episode here. Josh, you and I were talking before we went live. I said either it's because I'm dead inside or because I took an alt. The line on this game was only 7.5, and I bumped it up to 13.5, and I almost made it 21. Ravens minus 21. So I was expecting this to just be an all-time curb stomping.
Me too.
And the Browns I just feel like the Browns played these guys real tough. And we, at least especially on one side of the ball, we don't have even close to the amount of talent we need to try to compete with real NFL teams. So I think it was almost a good sign for the Browns where last week could have really derailed things. Like there was talk of the locker room was going to be gone, losing, like the Jets was a bad loss. There's no way to spin that. Oh, you lost an unlosable game last week. And it almost felt like it was blow up time. Even I'm sitting on here being like, well, if they get rid of everybody now, it's maybe now's the right time and fresh restart, all that good stuff. So I feel like this team in this locker room really could have came out this week and just gone through the motions, just mailed it in. And I was almost half expecting it because it almost looked that way second half, fourth quarter last week. So for them to kind of have a bounce back game in which like the defense answered the call. They came ready to play for all 4 quarters. There was no letdown from them, even when the offense was struggling. Pretty much ever since like the end of the first quarter through the rest of the game, defense still came out and fought, forced turnovers, made it tough on the Ravens offense. Lamar Jackson had one of his worst games ever as a pro. I don't know. There's no moral victories in the NFL, I guess. But when you're a Browns fan and especially when you're having a season like this, like we could have rolled over and died, and we still came out and we fought with them for 4 quarters. We're just overmatched on one side of the ball. And, so that's kind of how I felt. I finished this game and I was just like we fought, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We gave them hell. So I was happy with the team's effort, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Up until 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the game, the Browns either had the lead or were tied with the Ravens the entire time. And it's because we have half a football team. That's it. We have half a football team. And that's, if I'm upset with anybody, it's Andrew Berry. It has been. You guys know that. And it still is. Like, you built me half a football team, and it sucks to watch them because that half of the team that you built is really damn good, especially at home. We talk about that. At home, this is how they do it. And it almost feels like our best chance of winning a game, scoring points, is with our defense on the field. It's the only way we're going to score points. Otherwise, we scored, 6? I think our offense generated 6 points tonight. We got that muff punt, so special teams helped us get 3 because we can't score when we're on their 6-yard line. We have to kick a field goal. And then the defense took a pick 6 back. Other than that, there was nothing to speak of. Our offense it doesn't exist. There is no offense. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen, ever. I mean, years and years and years of watching football, watching this team play football or try to play football half the time, I've never seen an offense that looks this bad. This is pathetic.
My issues with the offense has been with Andrew Berry more than anything else for a while now, in terms of this can't be the offense that you've constructed. And I know like there's reasons why. I've been a person who talked about those reasons. I feel like they had pieces. They had guys like Prime Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Odell, Jarvis, all these guys. Well, not Odell. He was gone before Deshaun got here. But they had a solid offensive core in place, and it was like, okay, we got Deshaun. Offense is done. It's off to the side. Now we got to build up this defense. And so then they spent years building up the defense, just waiting for Deshaun to be good, and then it never happened. And this is what you end up with. I guess my issue here is, even if Deshaun was prime Deshaun, there's no way he could play with his talent on the offense right now. Like, you let it go too far. You just let it fall off of a cliff. I mean, and I'm not even focusing on athletes and playmakers right now. KT Levinston should not be on a football team.
No. Mm-mm.
He's the Cam Irving of left tackles. He is unbelievably bad. Jack Conklin, I love the guy. Should have been forced into retirement like 3 years ago, not extended. Didn't he get a contract extension last year?
I don't remember when the extension was, but I know before this season's when they restructured it so he can essentially be a free agent next year. So this is it for Jack Conklin and the Browns.
And to Jack, it's just injuries eventually are going to catch up with the guy. You know what I mean? It's just tough. It's not a Judge Will situation where it's effort. It's just like,
right.
The dude's getting older and he's just been banked up forever.
He left the game today hurt.
Yes. I'm hating on KT Levinston. It's not like our other starting left tackle is awesome. And we just unfortunate that he got hurt and we had to go to KT Levinston. Cam Robinson's no good either. It's just like what you've compiled on the offensive side of the ball is so atrociously bad. Nobody would be successful. I don't care what you did to this offense. I don't care what quarterback you put in it. I don't care if you have the Sean McVay calling plays for this offense. Nobody will be good with this talent. Maybe you would score 14 points a game instead of 13 points a game if it was a different offensive scheme or whatever. Nobody's winning with this offense. It is disgusting, the talent on this side of the ball. It's top to bottom least talented offensive roster in football, I would say. It's like them and the Titans. And the only reason I'd give it to the Titans a little bit right now is because they have the number 1 overall pick at quarterback at least. We don't even have that to boast. So it's just it's tough right now. Like you're just not going to get anything out of that offense. I've given up hope on ever seeing a good offensive game out of the Browns.
No, and today's a different kind of experience for Browns fans, at least like for me, because in the early part of the afternoon, I'm watching Red Zone. I never really get to just sit and watch Red Zone because the Browns are playing at 1. I'm focused on what they're doing. Maybe I got Red Zone on my iPad or something, but I'm not really watching it. Kind of just paying attention for like fantasy. I was watching Red Zone today, like, okay, let's see what some of these other teams are doing for real and all this stuff. And then you get to watch the Browns after that, and it's like, now I'm comparing what I'm watching with the Browns to everything I already saw in the 1 o'clock slate. We are terrible. I don't even know how else to put it. I mean, our defense will keep us in. We've said this all season. I mean, we do the same show every week. Our defense will keep us in every single game. Our special teams are hit or miss. Sometimes they're going to cost you a game like last week. Other weeks, they're going to help you potentially win or at least stay in the game, which was like today. I thought they did really well. They bounced back good, which was good to see from a coaching standpoint, that unit was able to overcome and bounce back and have a good performance. The offense just blows.
I guess before we get to, I would imagine a majority of the voicemails are going to be about the offense and the quarterback. So I just kind of want to like focus on a couple bright spots real quick before we get to all the voicemails. Bright spots. Myles Garrett's an absolute animal still. Hasn't mailed it in. 4 sacks, just unreal. Carson Schlesinger is he's maybe the second best Browns player, at least on the defensive side of the ball. And then somebody actually, and Brad brought this up today in the Discord. Nobody's talking about like Grant Delpit's playing insanely well this year too. Like on defense, Andy's the guy who recovered the muff punt. Grant Delpit's having a great season.
Yes, he is.
So there's bright spots. Andre Schmidt, again, 3 for 3, I believe it was, on field goals, made his extra point. I thought, and I kind of under the radar, I think Gage Larvadain's a pretty decent returner. Like he hasn't, like, he looks explosive when he does get a chance to return it, and he makes smart decisions back there. It feels like going back years now, we've had a guy back there who'd catch it when he shouldn't, wouldn't catch it when he should, just bonehead mistakes, not even taking into the account like return yards, just like or just can't catch it. I feel like Gage Larvadain just makes smart decisions back there. Like there was a play today where it was right before the half and the ball bounced at the 10. And if he just gets out of the way, it was slow. It probably gets down at like the 1 or 2 yard line. And then we're struggling to run out the half without giving up a safety or something like that before the half. But he catches it. He makes a nice play on the catch off the bounce and gets it at like the 10 or the 11, allows us to run a nice low risk run play to Judkins and then run out the half and go in it with a lead. That's like the kind of stuff that doesn't show up in the box score. Like he potentially saved points right there by making a nice play on the punt. So I feel like Gage Larvadain is a bright spot in the return game. Obviously Carson and Myles, Grant Delpit. There's some bright spots to this. We're just so deficient on one side of the ball. And I'm not going to declare the special teams back because this has kind of been the story. Like we'll be good for a week or two, then awful for a week or two. So, but I thought they had a good game this week. I will say this. That was one of the worst calls I've ever seen on the punt down at the 1. And who knows what happens if they have the ball at the inch line instead of at the 20, because his foot doesn't touch that line. I don't know how they don't overturn it. You can see from the one angle, the one foot didn't touch it. And then when they went to the other angle, the other foot never came down and touched the ground. It was clear as day. It wasn't even close, honestly. They're like, oh, it's so close. Maybe it looked close initially. As soon as you slowed it down and looked at it, it was not close. That was not a touchback. They should have had the ball at about the 3-inch line against our defense and Myles Garrett, the way they've been playing. That was a total bullshit call. That was awful.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, another guy, if we want to talk about bright spots, who's having one hell of a season is Devin Bush. I mean, our linebacker, we were concerned when the season opened up here because we knew we were losing JOK for the season. And then Jordan Hicks just abruptly retires right before the season. It's like, oh, crap. We got this rookie second-round pick, Carson Schlesinger, but he's a rookie, so expectations need to be tempered. And then after that, it was like, hey, we got some dudes in there, but are they Jags? Are they Devin Bush? I'm so glad they brought him back this year because he is having his best career season since his rookie season, I would imagine. That pick 6 today was The run back was excellent. He's a beast out there. And it was funny. So, we have the Discord with the dog pack. That's jointhedogs.com for everybody who missed it at the beginning. But, everybody's in there chatting all day, and I'm trying to do other stuff on social media. Plus, I got the kids running around like freaking chickens with their heads cut off. But, somebody will like tag me, and they said, hey, what's going on here? Because we're like actually winning the game. And I said, sometimes I forget that the Ravens are the old Browns. And today they were Brownsing all over the field. I mean, they pulled so many Browns moves today. Two deflected interceptions, one for a pick six. They muff the punt. They jump off sides on a punt or on a punt return that we're punting. Gives us a free set of downs. Like, they did so many, and there's all kinds of other things too. The sacks and just, they did so many things today. I thought, this is what we do. And yet the whole game, I don't know about you, I'm guessing it's the same. I just was sitting there thinking, at what point is this going to go their way? Because I know we're not winning this game. Like, it's not going to happen.
Like I told you, I bet I bet the Browns to lose by more than 13.5. And even when we had a lead, I was like, I'm still going to win my bet. Like, and of course I didn't. That's the Browns for you. They don't win the games, and they don't let the Ravens cover. But yeah, at no point today, I wouldn't have believed we were going to win this game if we had a lead with 8 seconds to go and the Ravens had to go 99.5 yards. I still wouldn't have believed it. So,
dude, okay. So whenever the Ravens, let's talk about the end of the game real quick. Because I want to know how your mind was going, because I was watching it and I'm looking at the Ravens on 4th and 1, and they're in field goal range. It's tied 16-16, and it's 2.5 minutes to go. I'm like, Harbaugh, just kick the field goal, dude. Like, we can't move the ball on offense. What are you worried about? Like, we cannot move the ball. We are no threat to score. And so they decided to go for it. And I thought, man, if I was Harbaugh, I would just kick the field goal because I know this team can't score. And then they run the fake QB sneak with Mark Andrews. He turns around, does a fake handoff, and then bootlegs around and just scores a 35-yard touchdown run. Like, what a Browns way to, you know what I mean, to lose that game.
It was one of those deals
so
where
hard when it happened.
I was like, good play call by the Ravens, because they got Mark Andrews taking the snap, who's a big tight end. They got Derek. You got to load the box.
You have to.
You know what I mean? You got to load the box. And then Mark Andrews just is an athlete in space at the tight end. You know what I mean? Big, strong, fast guy. So sometimes, like, they just have a good play called. You know what I mean? It's going to happen. What I did thought when I saw that play, I thought that is the exact same kind of play that if the Browns called with their tight end, if our tight end went in and took a snap like Harrison Bryant used to do, and we tried that play and it got stuffed on like for no gain, or we didn't get it, Stefanski would be butchered. Butchered. That is the kind of play that all the Browns fans think no other team in the league runs, only the Browns run. But if you actually go watch other teams play, almost every other team runs like at least 1 or 2 trick plays like that a game. But I just thought the Browns would try that play. It would go nowhere, and we would be butchered for it if we try to play like that.
Yeah. Well, and it's all about the execution, like you said. I mean, what are you supposed to do on defense? I mean, you got Mark Andrews, they're 1 yard away, and Derrick Henry's lined up. So if he doesn't if he doesn't sneak it and he turns around, looks like he's gonna hand it off to Henry. You got to bite on that. It's no one. I wasn't expecting Mark Andrews to bootleg out and take it for 35 freaking yards for a touch. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I laughed. Like, it was comical. I'm like, of course, this would be how they score the touchdown to win the game,
With their tight end on a fake tush push.
Yeah. Yep. It's not Lamar Jackson. It's not Derrick Henry. It's not going down the field and driving. No, it's some hokey fake 4th and 1 play with the tight end. Oh, my gosh.
So then that brings us to a 2-minute drive, which also then brings us to the offense, the not fun part of the show.
Ugh.
So obviously, I'm assuming all the voicemails are going to be about QB for the most part. So let's just kind of give our quick thoughts, and then we'll start diving into to some voicemails. What the Shedeur comes in. First of all, I called it. I said Dillon Gabriel was either going to throw 3 picks this game, or I had a feeling he was going to get hurt, and then he got hurt.
So I
don't want the guy to get hurt.
If you didn't watch the game, or concussion. So that was before half. I don't know what play it was. Did they ever show anything?
I think it was one of like I don't know if he rolled out or what, but he got tackled by a couple guys. I didn't look that bad to me, but then again, he's like a middle school kid running around out there. So, but So Shedeur gets his chance, and I was excited to see him come in. And right off the rip, he throws like a real nice pass to the sideline. And I'm like, that would have skipped 4 yards short if Dillon threw that pass.
Or 5 yards over his head.
Yeah. But then he comes and then he throws a pick like a couple throws later. And then honestly, right back out of the gate, should have thrown another pick. And heading into that final drive, I think he was 3 of 11. So it wasn't, and you saw some of the things where like all the issues that we kind of knew about in terms of just holding the ball too long. Like, I understand we don't have anybody open. I understand the offensive line is atrocious. You got to have your clock in your head, and you just got to know where to go with the ball and and hit your back foot, and you just got to throw it somewhere at that point. You know, you can't run around and take huge sacks. Now, so it wasn't going well. And if I had to rate his performance, it's probably like a D-. There's context to that, though. It's Shedeur people. I'm a Shedeur person. Let's not freak out. I also understand he's got very few, if any, reps in practice. He hasn't played with any of these starters. It's a super tough situation to come in cold off the bench in a game that you weren't expected to play in against the Ravens. You know, you're not playing against scrubs. So it's a tough spot. There's reasons for the struggle. But there's no denying it wasn't a great performance. Now, where it differs from like watching Dillon Gabriel play, one, he made a couple nice down. He already has a longer pass play than Dillon Gabriel has. It took a half. He pushed the ball downfield, and you saw the tiniest bit, and this is the word we've been saying on this podcast a little bit, of juice. You know what I mean? There was just the tiniest bit of, he's not playing well, but maybe there's just this tiniest little bit of something there. He made a couple big throws. He made a couple scrambles. And to be honest, he made a real nice throw to Gage Larvidan for a potential game-tying touchdown. I think it was Awuzie just made a really nice play. Like, think about it. Think about if you get to throw that pass to, like, not a guy who started your season on the practice field or on the practice team.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we're asking this guy to lead a game-winning drive against the Ravens, and he's got to throw a pass up to Gage Larvidan. And that guy wasn't even on the active roster for the first month and a half of the season. Imagine if he had an actual NFL number 1 wide receiver to throw that pass to. So it's like he showed, I'm not going to say like I'm sitting here going, oh, he showed me everything I need to see. He's the savior of the franchise. I saw enough, though, that I'm at least excited to watch him play next week with a full week of practice, and maybe not against the Ravens, against a struggling Raiders team. And if he looks great against the Raiders, I'm still not going to sit here and say he's the savior. But he showed me a little bit of juice, a little bit of something, a little bit of like, maybe there is a little bit something there, and I'm ready to see more. And hopefully he shows me a little bit more. And then hopefully Dillon just stays on the sideline then, because he's showing us stuff. And then maybe by the end of the season, we're seeing a guy who's had now 8 games of first-team reps, and he's the starter, and he's got good rapport with these guys. I mean, he's hardly ever been thrown to these guys because he's never getting any reps with them in practice. So I'm not going to sit here and say he played great, but he showed me just the tiniest bit enough to have me ready for next week. I'm ready to see what he can do in a more like ideal situation, getting to be the starter all week, getting to practice, getting reps, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
game plan for him.
Exactly. With the concussion for Gabriel, we don't see guys come back, especially if they have to leave a game with a concussion. They don't come back the next week anymore in the NFL. So it should be Shedeur in Vegas next week, like you said, with a whole week to prep and everything like that at practice, game plan, all that good stuff. The debut was not great. It was not pretty, like you said, probably D-. Like, it just, if you just take it at face value. But, the stuff that didn't go well for him was also the stuff that wasn't going well for Dillon Gabriel. It was also the stuff that I've seen Cam Ward do not well this year. And even today, watching some of that game, these are rookie quarterbacks. Dillon Gabriel was also holding the ball too long at times. How many sacks has he taken in his 5 starts? A ton. So there were definitely things about Shedeur that he needs to improve, but his mobility in the pocket, whenever he's not drifting back, whenever he decides to step forward or try to create some space and then he'll take off and run, there's some juice just in his legs. I'm like, the dude's quick and he's faster than what anybody's really given him credit for, like in the pre-draft process and stuff like that. And those throws down the field, and the freaking overthrow to Isaiah Bond in the back of the end zone, that would have tied the game. That was before the Larvidan throw. He had him open, and I think he just overthrew him a little bit. And that's one that I think if he gets that back, maybe he makes that throw. But you just don't see him sail the balls or throw them right into the dirt or into blank air the way Gabriel was doing.
Yes, a couple before we get to our first voicemail. A couple things I want to address here. Somebody said 416 with as many sack yards as passing yards showed me some juice. Again, we gave it a D- performance. He also led the team down into scoring position with a chance to win the game, throwing passes at the end zone. You'll never convince me that we would have done anything but go 3 and out if Dillon Gabriel would have been in there for the 2-minute drive, because I watched him go 3 and out almost every single time he's the quarterback for us.
All game.
And he definitely wouldn't have thrown the ball to Fannin on the deep pass down the middle. So
that was a nice throw. That's
Yes.
the thing. Like I've been waiting 5 weeks now to see a throw from Dillon. I saw one today that I liked. It was that throw down the seam to Cedric Tillman earlier in the game. And I thought, oh, hey, look, Dillon made a nice throw. And then every throw after that and every throw before that looked terrible again. And Shedeur had multiple of those throws, even if they didn't connect, like the one to Larvadan, like you mentioned, in the end zone. Still a nice throw.
And then another person said, "What's juice?" Juice is just when you watch the guy, you're like, oh, maybe there's something there. He's not playing great, but there's like a little bit of something. Like even the incomplete pass to Larvadan, that's a nice throw.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real nice throw. The throw to Fannin to get into that position, that's a real nice throw. The scramble on like 3rd and 4 to get us the first down to move the chains, that was a nice scramble. I saw, even as bad as he played, he did not play good. But even in a bad performance, I saw things in that bad performance that said to me, maybe there's a little bit of something there. Maybe if we develop this guy, maybe we give him some reps, he can be a guy who can play quarterback for us. There has yet to be a moment watching Dillon Gabriel play where I've thought this guy can be the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns or anybody in the National Football League at that. Like, that's what juice is. That's what that is. It wasn't a good game. He didn't play well. I guarantee you he would say he didn't play well. It was also extremely tough circumstances. Dillon Gabriel has had first-team reps since training camp, and he's been the starter now for 6 games. Okay? Let's see what Shedeur looks like in 6 games with, first-team reps and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I agree. So
do we want to take our commercial break, then come back and try to knock out a bunch of these voicemails?
Yeah. Throw me a curveball. Let me pull that up. Yep, let's do that. So quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back. This episode is sponsored by Southern New Hampshire University. Browns fans, do you ever feel stuck in your current job? Like, if you just had a different degree or some more education in a certain area, you could do something you really want to do. Well, Southern New Hampshire University has the answers for you. Head over to snhu.edu/bark to learn how you can get started on your new career today. SNHU is one of the largest online accredited universities in the United States, and it's radically affordable. Their online tuition rates are some of the lowest in the nation. So seriously, what are you waiting for? Head over to snhu.edu/bark to learn how you can get started on your degree for your new career, 100% online and 100% on your time. snhu.edu/bark.
Since 1989, Mount Hope Fence has set the standard in outdoor living. From decks and railings to fences and patios, we've got you covered. Our lineup features top brands like TimberTech, Alumagard, Preferred Railing, and Unilock, along with our own premium Duralux vinyl products. For over 30 years, we've partnered with contractors ensuring reliable job site delivery. Discover quality and excellence in all things outdoors with Mount Hope Fence.
All right, last thing before we get to a voicemail. Rick Sanchez, that's what they aren't talking about is Sanders looked identical to how he played at Colorado, same bad habits. You must not have been here when the very first thing I said was it wasn't a great performance, and we saw some of the things like the holding onto the ball and the drifting in the pocket, and he's got to have an internal clock and just get rid of the ball. That's basically a verbatim quote from the very first thing I said when we first started talking about Shedeur. So I apologize if you weren't listening. Go ahead. Let's get to the first voicemail.
Well, real quick, too, if you guys are watching here, I put a poll up in the chat because during that break, I kept seeing people saying, oh, you guys are making excuses for Shedeur. And then other people are saying, oh, he's got a bad O-line. So I just said, do you want Shedeur to start and keep the job, or do you want Gabriel to be the starter? And so far, we got 47 votes, 89% say Shedeur. So I just wanted to get a gauge for where the audience is right now. But there we go. Okay, so this first voicemail is from Bobby.
Hey guys, it's Bobby from Parma. I'm at the game right now. Shedeur just came in. I guess Dillon's out with the concussion. The stadium is absolutely crazy right now. Miles Garrett 4 sacks. This is absolutely insane. My prayers up for Dillon. Let's go Browns.
That's a great one to start.
I'm not going to lie. The fact that your first inclination when you're at the game is to get on thedogspodcast.com and call us to leave us a voicemail. I'm honored. I'm touched. That was just brought a smile to my face. That was awesome.
Yes. Thank you, Bobby. That was really good. All right. I got the next one loading here. All right. This is from our boy Fake Burns, or Zach.
All right. What's up? It's Fake Burns again. Zach is my actual name, but game isn't over yet, but I just kind of want to give a quick couple thoughts. I'm recording this right now just after they challenged the spot of that punt, so hopefully goes well for us. Hopefully we can continue to win the game. We're up by 3 right now, but I just want to give a few 2 cents about Sanders. I wasn't planning on watching this game. I went to the gym, and I was like, why not? I'll throw it on halfway through the first quarter. Sanders is in, and I got really excited, and so did everyone in the stadium. But to be honest, hasn't been too great lately with the last couple of plays and series. Obviously, game's not over yet, and by the time you listen to this, it will be over. But what I have noticed is what you guys talked about, where there's a couple sparks where it's like, okay, we could do something with that. Like, little too much time in the pocket, but again, rookie. It's his first ever game playing in the NFL. He can fix that, but I honestly, as of right now, at where we stand with this punt we just had on the one that they challenged, I'm feeling a little more confident with him, with Sanders, than I did with Gabriel. So like you guys said, I saw a couple sparks, hoping they can keep building on that. Let's go Brownies. Hopefully we can close out this game. If this is being played on the podcast after a brutal loss, then oops, but let's go Browns.
Oops.
All right. Well, one, I guess I'll start calling you. What's his name? No, I'm just playing. Don't tell me his name's Jake.
Zach.
I know. I was just being
okay.
funny.
I was like, do you really not remember?
But a couple things in here I saw talking about his drifting. They're saying, can you coach that out of him? And they're saying like Mahomes drift, Josh Allen's drift, all these quarterbacks drift. All these guys, they make plays. The difference between those guys is like they kind of pick and choose their spots, and they might get caught sometimes, but then a lot of times they make plays. Shedeur's just got to learn. He's got to pick his spots. What can he get away with? What can he get away with? He's not the athlete that like Josh Allen or probably even Mahomes is. So he's got to pick and choose his spots, see what he can get away with, because you don't want to take all that out of him, because that's what makes a quarterback special, playing outside the X and O's. So, but that comes with reps in the game, yes, and getting in the speed of the game and that stuff, and trying to, yes, you coach him and you tell him you got to do this and you got to do this, but you still want him to keep what makes him special. So like it's a fine line, and the only way to get that is to just play. He's got to play.
Yeah, it's all about experience, and I think, whether your inclination out there is to say, oh, he's terrible after one half of football, or, you still think like he's the savior, like just chill. It was one half. He wasn't supposed to play, like we've said a million times. And a lot of these guys that you want to compare him to, whether it's a good comparison or a bad one, have experience playing and starting as quarterback in the NFL. This guy does not. He still never started a game. Like this was it. This was his first experience. We just got to give him some time. We gave Dillon time, and we saw nothing. Yes. We saw nothing. So, all right, this one is from our boy Devontae.
Hey, it's Devontae here. So this is going to be short and quick. For everybody who didn't want Shedeur Sanders on the Browns, congratulations. You had, Mark Andrews just scored. So you got 2 minutes left in the game, 2:26, I think, to be exact. I don't see them pulling this off. So congrats. You've been able to have your moment of sunshine. I still think what I've always said. He should be getting reps with first team. As I said in the Discord, and some people didn't like it. Tough cookies. A vet has to teach a rookie how to study the game, how to prepare. Biggest example. Michael Vick went to Philadelphia. He didn't know all of that. He went off pure talent. Wasn't until he got with Andy Reid and Donovan McNabb where they taught him how to do it, and we saw what happened. Not comparing the two, that's just an example. So if we're going to crucify Shedeur Sanders off of half a game of football when he's being tossed in there, should he have been ready? Always be ready, yes. But is it something where it's the point of, hey, let me show you how to do it? Whether Joe Flacco was here for 4 weeks, that's great. Guess who was a backup? Dillon Gabriel. Guess who never got first team reps? Shedeur Sanders. Let's see how you all guys act if you're put into a new position in 2 hours and they say, hey, yeah, run this meeting for us and tell us what to do. It's not always going to go well. But hey, everybody got their wish. Go.
I guess
He
I
said it was
cut him
going to be
off.
short,
Yeah.
and then he got cut off.
You know, one thing that, like, yes, what he said about, like, you should always be ready as the backup. I mean, he was ready. The thing you cannot prepare for is, oh, now I got KT Leviston at left tackle going against the Ravens starters on the defensive line. Oh, wasn't it Jerome Ford who totally butchered the block on Kyle
Yes.
Hamilton?
It was
Like,
yes.
that first series for Shedeur Sanders was atrocious, and it was nothing to do with him. He had came out, made a nice throw right off the rip. And then he made another nice throw, got called back on a holding penalty. So we're 10 yards back. And then they give up that huge sack. It's like, okay, cool.
I don't know, and I just like, again, the stat line's bad, and there was tons of bad, but I don't think anybody would be saying like it was a complete and total loss, and he just showed like he shouldn't even be in the league. That's not the takeaway I had. I thought it was an extremely tough situation. He came in, made a couple of nice throws, and he gave the team a chance at the end. He put the ball in Larvidan's hands on a touchdown pass, and it just got knocked away by Awuzie on a really nice play. And again, we already talked about, you shouldn't have to throw that pass to Gage Larvidan. Like that pass should be going to, a guy who didn't start the season on the practice squad. So it's just like, we've talked about this whole time. I saw enough. It was dark, but it looked like somebody punched holes in it, and you could just see like a little bit of glimmer of light coming through the black canvas. I think there was stuff there. So I think if you're selling him, again, I'm not saying he's the savior of the franchise yet, but we know Dillon Gabriel isn't. And I feel like I saw more, even in a bad performance out of Shedeur, to make me intrigued in that than I did out of 6 starts from Dillon Gabriel.
And it was nice to see a quarterback back there who could throw a pass and not look like he's putting his entire body weight behind it.
That is the thing too. The ceiling is clearly higher.
Oh,
His arm talent it's not even close. It's not even close between him and Dillon Gabriel. The arm talent, the accuracy. Shedeur is honestly more athletic. He's just got to learn when to use it and when not to use it.
mm-hmm.
And it's real nice to just watch your quarterback in the pocket, and he looks, and maybe this is a stupid point, but he doesn't look so much smaller. Like, he looks like a professional NFL. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
You watch a replay from behind, and Dillon Gabriel looks like he can't. There's nothing. It's like this guy should not be on a field. He is tiny, so it's just like nice to like look like there's a grown man out there. And I'm not trying to slight Dillon, but like
It is what it is.
Yes,
I watched a lot of other football today, like I mentioned earlier, and one thing I noticed, and I've noticed this over previous weeks, and it's just like quarterbacks do drift back, guys. Like, this is not a Shedeur Sanders isolated thing. The difference is, one, these other guys kind of have a better idea of what they're doing when they're drifting back. One, because they are the starter. They have the experience and the reps and all this kind of stuff. And two, they've actually got freaking guys who can get open while they're drifting back and creating a couple extra seconds to make a throw, and a line that can maybe hold off a pass rush for an extra second. We don't have that. So it's not going to work here the way that it works for some of these other guys. I see, like Josh Allen, all these quarterbacks do that to buy a couple extra seconds just for a guy to come open. It's just not going to happen here.
Our guy Kenny Mack, go donate to his Movember campaign. He said, I thought Sanders made better reads. I liked where he went with the ball. I think that they even showed on a replay of the one time he had a clean pocket, you could watch his eyes going through. He didn't just immediately take the ball, predetermined, throw it to a check down. He went here, came back to, I think it was in Njoku for like an 8-yard pass on the check down. Like, you could see him going through progressions. He's just got to learn to harness. Okay, I went here, and here. Nobody's open. I got to get rid of it somewhere. I can't run around forever. I got to get rid of the ball now. So I think that's a very good point by Kenny Mack. Before we get to our next voicemail, let's do this super chat from Cam Bam Music. Thank you. We appreciate it. It says, I could be wrong, but I think the play calling could have been better on third down with all the pressure coming. We definitely saw flashes from Shedeur Sanders. I've never called plays anything higher than junior high football. What I can say about calling plays is when you are just completely overmatched and you can't block and you can't catch and you can't do anything, you're just staring at your play sheet going, well, this should be wide open, but this guy won't block it. This should be wide open, but this guy won't catch it. This should be wide open, but the quarterback will, like, it's very hard to call plays when you're just completely overmatched in the talent department.
And the other thing about, go ahead.
Things should be open and then they don't get hit. Things should be open, but you miss a block. Things should be open, but something happens. It's tough to call plays when you're just inept in the talent department on one side of the ball.
In the second half, you got to remember too, calling plays was even more difficult because the run game was already taken away. That was stopped. Quinshon Judkins was able to get free and pick up some yardage and do some things in the first half. Not in the second half. They shut that down real quick. I expected the Ravens to kind of shut that down the entire game. I was impressed in the first half with Quinshon and some of those runs, but it wasn't here to last. And just to give everybody an update of the poll, 173 votes now, 95% want Shedeur to continue being the starter. So I think everybody's kind of on the same page here. Let's see if Mick, our next voicemail, is on the same page.
Hey, it's Devontae here. So
Oops, that's the wrong one. Hey, we're doing it live.
Yeah.
All right. Talk for a second. Let me download this again.
All right. Another comment here says, was almost every drive Sanders played literally in the order of run, run, pass. Someone fact check me if needed. It wasn't just Shedeur. They even talked about that even in the first half of Dillon Gabriel. The play, you can just tell the play calling is very conservative. We're going to just try to run the ball. We're going to try to keep the defense fresh. We don't want to turn the ball over. It goes back to what I was just saying. There's no plays to call when you can't block. There's no plays to call when you can't catch, So it's like you can just tell it's a very vanilla, bland, conservative play calling, just because that's kind of what you're forced into when you can't do anything.
Yeah, and I mean, before I play mix here, because I think I got it loaded up, but another thing Devontae said that I thought was, something to say is it sucks not having some sort of veteran quarterback on the team that at least these rookies could go to the sideline after a series and talk to and say, because okay, we got Bailey Zappi, but I mean, it's Bailey Zappi. Come on. Somebody with some real experience who can say, hey, back when I was playing, or, this is what I saw out there, or whatever, some of these other guys have that. We don't. We got two rookies. Again, roster management, I think, has been piss poor.
Hey, y'all, it's Mick from San Diego. I'm glad that Shedeur got his opportunity to play. Obviously, I would have much rather preferred it not be against the Ravens, but it started okay, and then he started going back to his collegiate habits, and then started picking up again, and then it just seemed like the play calling for Shedeur was a little bit more conservative. Maybe I wasn't watching the game as well as Blake or the other guys on the show. But yeah, the announcers even said it. They need max protect, let Judy, maybe Njoku, maybe one other person get open, call a timeout, and then the very next play, it was anything but max protect. So, yeah. We just need to figure it out. The offense needs to score. The defense showed up, and special teams did well today. On to the next one. Go Browns. Ooh.
I'm intrigued to see what it looks like next week with a week of prep and a game plan for him. Kevin said that if Dillon clears concussion protocol, he'll start. Man, I don't want Dillon to be
done with this shit.
I don't want Dillon to have a super bad concussion. I don't want, just because I don't think he's any good doesn't mean I want his brain to be bleeding. But please God, it's we're here now. Just don't take it away from us. Right. You know what I mean? Don't. It's like he just gave us the tip. We want the whole thing. So like, come on.
Oh man. No, I'm with you. I think that's I think it's a mistake. Dylan's just
Like,
shown us nothing, man.
Here's a good point, and I saw from Toil to Dreadhead. How many passes did Shedeur Sanders throw to the ground?
Good point.
You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Even Dillon Gabriel in this game, he cannot throw to the sideline.
No.
Almost anytime there's a sideline pass, it bounces 4 yards short of the guy, or he sails it. Like he cannot throw outside the numbers because he doesn't have the arm. So it's just one of those things where, like, that's what I'm talking about. Again, Shedeur didn't play some amazing game, but even his misses were better misses.
Oh yeah, and I've talked about this on the show, and I've talked with Kenny about it, and we've all said it. Like, even when Shedeur Sanders does eventually at some point get his opportunity, we got to chill out with the expectations that this guy's going to come out and light it up and, 350 yards and 5 touchdowns and all this stuff. It's like, he is a rookie. We need to have the same expectations that we would for any other rookie quarterback coming in here, especially in this situation. Like,
yes,
it's not going to look great.
With KT Leviston over here, busted ass Jack Conklin in here, old ass Joel Bitonio and Ethan Posick in front of him. I love Joel Bitonio, but all the announcers always talk about the strength of our line is our interior. Yeah, it's the strength of our line because our tackles are ass. The interior is not some dominant force like it was 4 years ago.
Right.
Like, they're just not. So also throwing to Jerry Jeudy out here, who has like 1 catch in the last month. He had 6 catches last week. So he has like 6 catches in the last 3 weeks. I made a glass Cedric Tillman. Sir drops a lot. Harold Fannin. I'm a little bit facetious there. I love Harold Fannin, but he has had some issues with drops this year. I don't care who you put on this team. I don't care if you put freaking Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes on this team. They're not going to light it up with what they have around them. You're just looking for sparks, things that you can build on. Something like, oh, that's there. Maybe if we put an actual NFL receiver on the field, that'd be a connection.
Exactly. I was looking for throws. I just want to see a throw. And that doesn't even, and when I say a throw, I'm not saying a completed pass, because that means that the guy on the other end either has to run the right route, create separation, or make a catch, which is no guarantees in this offense. I just want to see a freaking throw. And I saw several throws from Shedeur. Now, did they show up? How'd they show up in the box score? Incompletions. Okay, fine, whatever. But at least he can make the throws. That's the thing that I've been bitching about with Dillon for weeks is he can't make the throws. And we've said it a million times on this show. If he tries to go deep, it's up in the air like a punt, and it's wobbling the whole way down. You're like, oh boy, who's coming under this one? He throws to the sideline. It's skipping all, through the numbers or sailing out of bounds because he's trying to put too much. Shedeur never would have sailed that ball over Malachi Corley's head last week. That screenplay, that would have been a touchdown probably. Like, all you had to do is throw the ball to the freaking pitch and catch behind the line of scrimmage, and he missed it. We can't go back to Dillon. We can't.
No. Joe McKnight here says the tip game is wild, buddy. If you like those kinds of comments, you're in luck. I got about 5 of those in the chamber every episode. And then his next comment was his time with the press was awesome. We basically got right on here after the game and started doing the episode. So I'm excited to go back and see some of the post game stuff with him. So thank you for telling us that, because I want to go check that out.
Yep.
Do we have more voicemails?
Oh, we sure do. This one's from Garen.
Hey guys, this is Garen again from Arkansas. Following that Browns-Ravens game, I think we got to make a lot of adjustments everywhere. I think, you have to give Shedeur more reps following that. I think it also showcased that not everything is Dillon's fault. Dillon Gabriel did have a couple dirt balls. He wasn't very good, but he did what he needed to. He didn't turn the ball over. Now, Shedeur does push it downfield. I liked that. I thought that was really good, but you had to take the good with the bad, Shedeur. He pushed the ball down the field, but he also took sacks. He also didn't hit the open guy, as did Dillon. I think both guys miss a lot of open guys, as we've noted the past couple weeks. We have to be able to take just the simple stuff, and yeah, we need to push the ball down the field some, but we just have to know when to take the checkdowns. So, yes, I'm with you guys. I think we need to push the ball down the field, obviously, way more. I get tired of the dump downs, too, but we need to know when to take it and when not to take it. So, after Dillon's head injury, I think we'll probably start Shedeur next week against the Raiders. We definitely need to get him fully ready. I think it'll look a lot different when he has a full week to prepare. But we got to find something because it's not just the quarterbacks; it's the wide receivers and the line. So we definitely got to find some strategies that help our tight ends excel more because they've gone from excelling to almost nothing. So thanks.
So whenever
Thanks for
he
the
says,
call.
what's that?
I was just saying it's almost like I listened to that voicemail, but I didn't listen to it. But he just said like everything we've said so far.
Yeah, he did. I mean, and the one thing that really stuck out to me, he's talking about how the quarterbacks need to know when to take the shot downfield and when not to take it. Well, I think they both, obviously need more reps with learning that kind of thing in the game, the flow of the game and the speed of the game and all that kind of stuff. But the difference for me is whenever you decide to take a shot or not to take a shot, can you make the throws that you're deciding to take? And a lot of the dump downs with Dillon is not because there's nothing downfield. It's because he can't make that throw or he just flat out doesn't freaking see it.
Yes, he misses a ton because he can't see anything. Another thing here, thank you DJ Amp for the super chat. He says y'all should have started Shedeur for the season. Here's the deal with that. I think we all talked about at the beginning of the season. I was fine with going Joe Flacco early. I said I thought Joe Flacco should start because he's going to give the vets the belief, like the best chance to win early in the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, once the season, it's clear the season is done, then you move on to the rookies. We also said, slow down. Dillon Gabriel was taken in the third. He's going to get every opportunity to succeed and lose the job before we go to Shedeur. My problem is that was 4 weeks ago. Okay. Maybe some people will say 2 weeks isn't enough time. When you're watching, you're watching. 2 weeks was plenty of time. This should have been the move to Shedeur a month ago. So I'm perfectly I am fine and understand the reason in which we have gotten here. The problem is should have happened. It shouldn't have taken an injury, and we shouldn't go back to Dillon. And I knew after the first start, but definitely the second start, the third start, you knew there was nothing there. So let's just get to this. And then if there's nothing here, then at least we know strategy heading into the offseason. Another super chat. Do you want to, that third down throw to Gage in the end zone was better than any throw Dillon has made in 6 games. Yes. Dillon wouldn't even have attempted it. At least he gave his guy a chance. He put it up there, and Gage almost made it a great catch.
Yeah.
Awuzie just made a great defensive play and knocked it out late. It was borderline. Like if Gage could have gotten control of it, it was borderline, would have been a touchdown because once he has possession, it's a touchdown. Play's done. Doesn't matter if he would have knocked it out. He just could never get the full control. It was a good defensive play. Again, we've talked about this play a bunch of times. You shouldn't have to throw that to a practice squad wide receiver. Sure, it'd be nice to throw that to, Jamar Chase or T. Higgins or Justin Jefferson or somebody.
Yeah, or just any of their backups. Like, we don't have that guy. Okay, this one's from Jack.
Well, guys, another week, the same result. We did get to see Shedeur this week. I said in the group chat last week, this is exactly how it was going to go. Run backwards, get sacked. Maybe with a week of practice and some first-team reps, it'll look better next week. But I'm not hopeful. As always, go Browns. Woo, woo.
Like we talked about all show. You have to. It was a D- performance, but there were things in that D- performance that you could look at and be like, okay, this is something, this is something, this is something. A couple things here before we get to the next one. Stefanski's still sabotaging him. No mass protection. Why longer routes when the Ravens were blitzing more? Stefanski's not calling plays, so that's that's ignorant. He's not even calling plays. It says that was pass interference in the end zone. I actually kind of thought that too. Awuzie does make a play on the ball once it's in Larvadain's hand, but he's definitely got hands on him and never turned around and make a play on the ball until after Gage had it in his hands. I thought it very easily could have been called pass interference, our ball at the 1 yard line. The Browns aren't going to get that call though.
No, definitely not. All right, we got Stacy up next.
Well, Shedeur finally got his start because someone decided to knock Dillon Gabriel out at halftime in the locker room. No, I don't know. I'm excited that he finally got in there, got a start. I will say, obviously, it was pretty rough, but we have to give the kid some patience and some grace. He hasn't even been able to practice with the number ones, so I just don't feel it's a fair assessment right now. They haven't given him the coaching, the practice that he needs to jump in a game like that. So, also, offensive line, I can't even. Like, that is the worst offensive line I have ever seen in the NFL, college, high school, all the above. Like, I can't even get over it. Next year in the draft, if we draft a single defensive player, I swear I might stop watching this team. No, I'm just kidding. Seriously. Offense, offense, offense. Receivers, offensive line. We'll see how Shedeur does next week if he gets a full week of practice with ones and can start the game.
And I know what the people who don't like Shedeur are going to say is, you guys are making all these excuses for him, but you'll harp on Dillon for the same stuff or whatever. She made a great point, and we've been saying it this whole show. Dillon has been taking the first team reps since he was drafted. Rookie minicamp, he got the first team reps. And then we get into veteran minicamp. He's getting first team reps all summer, preseason, training camp. He's been the guy. They have given this to him. He has gotten all the experience. There were days that Shedeur wasn't even taking reps at all with the team in the team drills over training camp. So it's not a fair comparison. This guy is very much behind as far as experience.
You can just watch them both throw the football. Like, I'm willing to give the guy who can make the throw to the sideline a little bit more of a leeway. I'm willing to, like, hey, that's, you know what I mean? Like, okay, maybe he took a bad sack. Like the one guy said, he was only sacked twice.
Yeah.
And he did, like, he extended plays a couple of times with his legs, gave the guys a chance. Again, I'm not coming out here saying that he was great. He threw one pick. Honestly, probably should have thrown two. But there were things there, and you could tell he has tools. Dillon Gabriel has no tools. He's toolless. There's nothing there for him. Even if Dillon Gabriel makes the right read, even if he can somehow see over the line and makes the right read, he can't put the ball where it needs to go because it hangs up in the air for 4 seconds like a punt, or it skips 5 yards short to the sideline. You think Dillon can stand on one hash and make a throw to the outside numbers? No, he cannot. He cannot. He's physically. We just saw it last week. He threw it 10 feet over Malachi Corley's head. He can't make those throws. I'm willing to try to coach the guy and give the guy reps who I watch stand in the pocket and deliver nice balls.
Yes, they were nice balls, Blake.
So nice. They were smooth as eggs.
Alrighty, we got Brad Moneymaker. I'm sure this will have something in it.
Here we go once again, down the road of suffering, yeah. And it was a game. You're all right. What's up? It's Brad Moneymaker. Well, finally got to see Shedeur. I'll give him a little buffer here, just kind of thrown into a game he wasn't fully prepared. I mean, towards the end, I saw a couple good things from him. Dillon had some good throws, and then he'd turn around and do like a terrible throw. So, we still don't have a quarterback as of right now. I would like to see Shedeur in a full game, but we'll see if that happens. The defense, amazing. I mean, mostly pretty much lights out. I mean, and Carson Schlesinger and Myles Garrett, both getting like whatever of the year for this. So, it wasn't a blowout, so that's good, guys. Yeah, let's go Browns. Woof, woof.
No, it wasn't a blowout. Not an excruciating loss. Expected it to be much worse. And to be honest, if the Browns came out and just looked competent like this, like we talked all year, I wasn't expecting us to win really any games. Just come out and play hard for the most part. Like, I don't think we had a ton of penalties today that I remember, maybe a few. And fight. We didn't give up. We fought until the very end. Even with 2 minutes to go, we had a chance to go down and tie it up. So, like, moral victories wise, which you don't want to have in the NFL, but like me as a fan watching this, I finished the game, was like, oh, we fought. On to the next week. Excited to watch Shedeur next week, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd be upset if I was a Ravens fan, because you're going against the team that just lost to the Jets in a pretty embarrassing fashion, and their offense mustered a whopping 6 points today. And it took you till the last 2 minutes of the game to take the lead. So they've rattled off, what's that now? 4 straight wins. They're 5-5. They're trying to make a push for the division, all that kind of stuff. But they've got some problems too that they're going to have to work on. I know their defense has gotten a little bit stronger over this stretch, but it can still be picked apart by a good team.
You got to think their offense. Lamar kind of
he
dominated us early in his career, and he still plays well. I mean, last game he threw 4 touchdown passes, but it was on like 120 yards passing or something. You know what I mean? Like we play him pretty tough the last couple years. I mean, this is the first year they've swept us in what, 3 years, 3 or 4 years now. So I mean, like we play him pretty tough. He plays against other people better typically than he does against us. He'll like I said, he threw 4 touchdown passes last time, but we held him and Derrick Henry for the most part in check in that first game. Like I said, 4 touchdown passes on it went barely like 150 yards passing, if I remember. Like it was some minuscule number. So they'll be all right. I'll be honest, like they're probably going to win the division. Steelers are going to collapse.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that collapse, especially if Rodgers is out.
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to be in trouble. So, last voicemail here tonight is from Jonathan.
Well, that was fun, Browns fans. Sure felt familiar, even though our personal savior, Shedeur, finally got to play. Hey, Shedeur fans. Hey, did you watch that? Are you listening? How do you feel about it? Was it everything you hoped for? Sure felt the same to me. It's because it doesn't matter who we put in there for the QB. There's too many other problems with the O-line, with not having consistent, awesome receivers. Like we have some that have flashes of, cool, that was nice, but then they drop it. Good old drop it again, Judy. Like I didn't hate Judy as much as I usually do. Hate's a strong word. I didn't want to like smash my TV as much as I usually do because of Judy this game. But dear Lord, it's just more of the same. Because we have other problems, and Shedeur isn't going to solve it. And clearly, he needs to drop some habits from college still, and that's probably why he wasn't the first pick. But man, I hope the Shedeur fans are happy now.
Okay.
I will say I'm happy. I'm happy because, again, clearly nobody will be successful in this offense. We've talked about it. Like Stacy said, it's one of the worst offensive lines I've seen at any level of football. It is atrocious. And the wide receiver core, I've been on record basically since the offseason, it's the worst in football. So, like, you realize at one point this year, Jamari Thrash was our number 2. When was the last time you even heard Jamari Thrash's name?
He was a healthy scratch today.
That dude was like our 1A 2 for a stretch of games this year. So like
you're right.
It's the worst wide receiver core in football. It is terrible. The offensive line is maybe worse than the wide receiver core, especially at the tackle positions. So we know there's more issues. He showed to me that he had tools that could be part of something though. Dillon showed me nothing. Doesn't matter, says, I don't want to win another game. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. We suck so bad. I want a lock on Mendoza for the 2026 draft. Change my mind. I don't disagree with the not wanting to win another game because even if it's not a quarterback, I want to be able to pick whoever I want because we're not going to win enough games to do anything this year. Might as well be able to have the player you want and not have to worry about anything. Not have to make any trades, not have to do anything like that. Or if you can get number 1 pick and Shedeur is the guy, somebody gives you a king's ransom to move up to 1 and you stay in like the top 5 somehow and you pick up like 3 more first round picks and then you still get like the receiver you want, like a Carnell Tate or something like that. So like if the Browns can lose today, the rest of the year, I won't even be mad. Be competitive, fight, don't give up, play to the end of the game, the fourth quarter, don't get blown out, and you're just overmatched and we can get the number 1 pick and I get to watch like a football game where my team was in it till the end. I mean, that's win-win if you're a Browns fan, right? Honestly.
I don't think we got to worry, guys, with this offense. I don't think we got to worry about winning any games. I'm telling you right now. It's not good. It is not good.
There's maybe 2 more games on the schedule that you have a chance at. and they'll be tough. Another super chat here. Again, thank you for the. Oh, where'd it go? Here it is. And honestly, Cleveland fans should be hopeful. 12 showed sparks, and he can get the ball downfield. That's exactly what we've been talking about this whole time. He showed that he had the tools to make the throws. Now you just got to coach it into him, like where to go, when to take those shots, when to get rid of. And people are like, he still has those bad habits. When was he supposed to get rid of them?
That's true.
Like, turns out the trash cans don't give him a very hard pass rush in the post-practice drills that he's running. You know what I mean? Like, when was he supposed to get rid of these bad habits? The only way to get rid of some of these bad habits is he's got to be in there.
That's a good point. So
you can't learn the speed of the NFL sitting on the bench. Like, oh, I could run away from that guy. It's a lot easier to say that until you get in there and he's chasing you. Oh, well, shit, maybe I can't run away from that guy. Like, you gotta learn these things. The only way you learn them is by playing. So, like, when was he supposed to get rid of the bad habits?
You're right. A while ago, a couple weeks, I think, somebody in a press conference asked Kevin Stefanski if Shedeur Sanders was taking any first-team reps at practice, just, in preparation for the upcoming games and stuff. And he said no. Dillon's taking all the first-team reps. He's a rookie. Like, he needs all the reps he can get, all that kind of stuff. And then I think it was Daryl Ryder asked him the other day, has anything changed with Shedeur's practice reps? And Stefanski said no. And he said that he gets his extra reps with the developmental guys at the extra session after practice is over. So that means all the first team guys have already taken their reps and they're already in doing film study and meetings or whatever the hell they do after practice. And Shedeur's out there with the practice squad guys. That's whenever he gets to do his practice. So what you saw today was Shedeur Sanders off a week of practicing with the practice squad guys.
Yes. And another thing I like about Shedeur is, and some people don't like, is like, I guess I'll call it bravado or cockiness. I think he seems like a good leader. He takes ownership a lot. Like he's good at the podium. Like I know a lot of people didn't like his like miming interview or whatever, but like I feel like when he's, for the most part, like he's good at that kind of stuff. He rallies the troops. Like guys, gravitate towards him. So I'm not still saying Dillon doesn't have leadership qualities, but I don't know. I like the intangibles of Shedeur as much as I like the ceiling he has.
Well, it felt like there was an energy shift when he came in. The stadium obviously blew up, like it was rocking. You saw everybody's got their wrists up, like everybody's pumped. And you could even feel it with the players in the huddle. Like it was like, all right, let's go. We got, there's like new life. And then, the ball was snapped and it turns out KT Leviston, whether he's excited or not, can't block anything. So it didn't matter. You can only elevate people to a certain level, and these guys are not players that are able to be elevated.
Correct. That was our last voicemail, right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. We got through 10 voicemails.
Good. And thank you, everybody, for sending them in. I mean, whenever we got on here, and I told Blake, I'm like, I barely had time to get anything ready for the show. I didn't even go through voicemails or anything. And I said, well, let's just see how many we got. I was like, holy shit, we got 10 of them.
Yeah. 10 voicemails. I was like, well, we can't leave the people hanging. We got to get to some of these. So we appreciate everybody who stopped in, left us a voicemail. Everybody who's in the chat, we appreciate you guys making this a fun episode. Huge shout out to all the people who gave us super chats. Those kinds of things support the show, and we're extremely grateful for that kind of stuff. Before we get out of here, if you like supporting the show, you can become a YouTube member for 99 cents. You can head to jointhedogs.com, become a dog pack member, and you get to be in the private Discord. That's where the chat, this YouTube chat's basically the Discord 24/7. Lots of cool people in there, guys and gals. So if your girl's here watching, a woman, I guess, I said girl like we're middle schoolers or something. But and you're looking for people to talk with, and you're like, oh, it's just going to be like a total bro fest. No, that you wouldn't be. We have multiple females in there. It's a good group of people. So that's jointhedogs.com, and then you get to play fantasy football with us as well. And you just get to hang out. It's a good time. And then, again, before we jump off here, please go donate to Kenny Mack's Movember campaign. We'll have that on our socials. I'm sure we can probably get it posted in the description of this video once we get it up, like as an episode on YouTube. That goes to a great cause. Kenny Mack, he does this every year, and we always try to help him hit his goal. And I'm pretty sure we've hit it every year. We've been talking about it since we've been doing the show. So we don't want to let him down this year. So again, that's his Movember campaign. We'll get you guys the link. Make sure you guys make a donation to Kenny. Just any little bit helps.
And before we go, update on this poll in that I put middle of the episode is now 354 votes. So thank you guys for participating. 95% of people in this chat still want to see Shedeur Sanders be the starter moving forward. 95%.
Very nice. Two things. I know I just wrapped it up. Bernie got a liver.
Oh, I didn't see the update. Good.
Yeah, Brad just dropped it in here. So hopefully everything goes. I know there's always like a, you got to make sure it takes when you get a new organ. So hopefully everything goes well with that, but we're super pumped to hear that about Bernie, Cleveland legend. So thank you for the update there. And doesn't matter, says me and Blake usually line up well on 90% of the viewpoints. I'm just not a Sanders crotch jockey. I'd say I'm like a Sanders fan, but I'm not guaranteeing he's going to save the franchise, but I like him enough to like want to see him play for us and at least give him the opportunity to be the guy for the franchise.
I just want to see the best quarterback playing on the field on Sundays. And in my opinion, that's him.
Correct. So again, we appreciate you guys here. Everybody go give Bernie well wishes wherever you can. And again, Kenny Mack's Movember campaign, make sure you guys donate. We appreciate you guys being here.